Does that
We're
help
recording,
you?
but there we go.
What?
Does
Is
that
it
help?
Headphones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa. Super echoey.
Why does it
Echoey?
you just find it helpful?
Yes.
But how come?
Hold on.
Just trying to understand.
It's not echoey.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm just...
You're tripping. You know what?
Because then you can
because
talk quietly and you can.
We'll just like
But you just
reference.
know what's being heard on the other end. I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually a huge issue last time. Is that you were crumpling up a piece of paper the whole fucking time?
What?
Yeah, you fuck.
Well,
No.
that's
No, I'm just kidding.
Way to ruin it. Why
I mean,
are you
I
gonna
do
wear your
stuff like that all
sunglasses
the
the whole time?
No, me too.
I can take them off.
I'm just.
Or
it looks
you know
uncomfortable.
what?
is
We
what
can
I'm asking.
all just wear our glasses today,
No,
and
I don't
it's
have
summer.
mine.
That could be.
No, put your glasses on.
It is
Zach.
very hot. Put my glasses on?
Yes.
Wow.
Now you're
Demanding
ordering.
podcast host.
Yes. It's hot today. It's sunny.
This is the podcast of the blind right now. That's what it feels like.
Okay.
Stop! I need to be able to see your eyes.
No, it's.
I had a friend that would always be on Xanax, and he didn't want people to know he was like on drugs or something, so he would always wear sunglasses.
What do your eyes do when they're on Xanax?
I don't know. That's what I always said.
You probably just
He's
look
like-
stoned, and you know.
Well, he would
like,
smoke
if
weed,
you're
too.
drunk or you're high, like your eyes, you know,
Oh,
there's
they're
always
just
a little
like-
something going.
He would always
around.
smoke weed as well.
Well, then that's just what his eyes look like.
No, he always looked fucked up,
Oh.
and so he didn't want people to like know he was fucked up. Also, he liked like staring at like chicks' tits, but them not being able to see
So
that he's
skeezy.
staring.
That is,
What is this? The 80s?
yeah.
Yes.
Is that a good thing because he's just protecting the world from his skeeziness?
Pervert.
You know, no one knows. Then
It's a little
you
bit
know?
of both.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
I don't think that's something he
Yeah.
should be applauded for.
He can talk about it when he's a guest on Have a Seat. Yes.
He's not
He
invited.
won't probably
Oh.
be. He lives far, far away.
How's your day going?
Uh,
Just started because
whoa,
Anthony
whoa.
just woke up. That's why he's all puffy.
My face is puffy, apparently.
Look, your left underneath your eyes. They're super puffy.
I also
You should
slept
fix
for like
that.
4.5 hours. I should fix it?
Yeah,
How?
ice.
You need like a spray of sorts, some kind
You
of.
can put a cold compress.
rose water. I hear
Compress.
works wonders.
What is rose water?
What is water?
With
Essence
roses?
of rose.
Essence of
Spray
rose.
it
What
up.
is this, a goddamn fucking
It's
World of
very
Warcraft
refreshing.
game?
Cleans
refreshing.
everything.
It's just a nice pick me up.
I don't know.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, check it out.
I'll have to test that out.
It smells like
When I
roses.
get,
It
when I
does.
get 4 hours of sleep.
My friend who's a yoga teacher, she uses it sometimes at the end when you're just like zonked out from the session and you're like doing your meditative for like 30 seconds before they make you leave. She just like sprays it in the air and you kind of.
Rose water?
I don't
feel
know
like
if it
dudes
does
do that in
anything,
the
but-
sauna sometimes.
You what?
They're always like when I go into the sauna at my gym, dudes will like spray stuff in there.
And you think it's rose water?
Like sometimes it's eucalyptus and then sometimes it's something else.
Maybe.
Does it smell like roses?
I don't know what roses really smell like, to be honest.
You're
Never-
saying you've never literally stopped and smelled the
I've
roses?
never
in your
stopped. I've
You
never
are-
stopped, and I've never smelt roses in my life.
Man,
You're missing out. I've got to tell you. Flowers smell great.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll get on that.
My
Maybe you
dad
will,
one
maybe you
time.
won't.
My dad one time took me to Starbucks, and we both got coffees, and the sole purpose was to stop and smell the roses. And he said that like 12 times while we were doing it.
Or stop and smell the coffee.
Well, yeah, but he was just like, sometimes you just gotta stop and smell the roses, and that was like the theme of us getting coffee.
Your dad must have been having a day there. Something
I don't know.
profound that you
Your
are
dad
not
was
aware
like-
of.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You
your
were
dad
12,
was on
you said?
shrooms.
No. This was when we were in Virginia, but I think he was getting close to that stage where you've been working for so long, and retirement's like right there.
Yeah, my parents are there too.
Yeah, he's finally like they're done and they're retired, and I'm so happy for them. But it was hard for those last couple of years, I think,
Why?
because he worked for a Fortune 500 company and they just ran him to ground.
And it's also like when you work for so long, I think like you can't. It's hard to imagine how to live after that. What am I gonna do? My parents talk about this all the time. What am I gonna do all the time?
Really,
I
they were
was
stressed
stop
about
working.
that?
I was just having a conversation
Yeah,
with a guy
people.
last
This
night.
is what because people have been working for 30 years, 40 years, doing the same thing, going to work every day.
Yeah.
Then like having the sort of structure of going to work, and I have
Living
vacation
for the
time. I
weekend.
celebrate with. I mean, when you have a family, you know, I think the game changes. Once you're a
100%.
kid, like all this game that we talk about here is just a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe people find a midway. But I think a lot of people, when they have kids, like change what their dreams are, what their goals are, because it no longer becomes
100%.
about themselves either. So
I just had this conversation last night with a dude at work, and he was just like, this guy that was just like super depressed, and he comes up to my bar sometimes, and he was talking about how like he went like on vacation last year, and he just went to all these different places in like Mexico or South America or something, and like he ran into all these Canadians that were like working from home, or they had like a business or something like that, but they just ran it from wherever they were.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, fuck, man, I want that.
Yeah,
Like-
that's the goal, I
Yeah.
think, is not to work at home, but like to be able to do your work.
Oh, but he was
wherever.
saying like, he's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna retire. Like, I can't imagine what I would do. He's like, I have a job right now, and I'm still like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
right.
Well, my
He's like, all
dad
my
actually
kids are gone.
he retired and now he has a woodworking thing.
There you go.
So he's actually coming back to the craft that he loved initially, which is great. And I actually designed the logo for him,
That's right.
and he paid me for it. So I'm a
Sounds like you
paid
need to do that some
graphic
more.
design. I know. I actually just made an Instagram page with all of the logos that I've made recently, like this one, and then the Bentley and Hayes other podcasts, and my dad's, and a couple other things I've made. And it's like Hayes Design, I think is
That's
what
good.
I called it. Yeah.
Hal Hayes.
What?
Hal Hayes.
Hal Hayes?
Al Hayes, I don't get it.
I don't
That's
know.
a fucking.
Is that a person?
Yeah, it's like a
Because
huge
I s-
construction company.
Oh, I said to somebody else the other day, and they were like, "What's your last name?" And I said Hayes, and they were like so and so Hayes, and I was like, I don't fucking know. I just gave myself this name. I don't know the references to it yet.
I was thinking about.
I'm
that.
so used to
That's not
fucking.
your real-
I was thinking about that the
Yeah.
other day because I was listening to some podcast. They were like, yeah, everyone that moves to it's Joey Diaz. Everyone that fucking moves to Hollywood has to change their fucking name to try to fit in. I thought about you.
Yeah, that's me. Whatever.
Anyway, welcome, Zach.
Yeah,
Yo,
I was
welcome
actually.
back.
I was actually not even gonna introduce him. Just let our intro do that.
What intro?
The intro we're
Our
gonna make.
boring
out of-
intro that we just
No,
had?
the intro.
Have a seat. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Is that
that our
how
song?
it goes? I thought that's how it goes.
The song?
It's like elevator music.
It literally
with
never
ba-dum-bum.
says "have a seat," but it's like
Wait, have you listened to that?
I have listened to one episode with Matt.
you listen to
Yeah,
that one.
I mean, I don't know if I finished it, to be perfectly honest, but
That's fine.
I did go through it.
Did you get through the first 5 minutes?
Yeah, definitely. Of course.
What
And
about
you
the
were
first
like-
like 6?
I think I listened to like 15 or 20 minutes of that while driving in my car. And I laughed a lot because I know you guys, so that was fun.
Cool.
You should listen. I'm obsessed
I will continue listening.
with mine and Matt's podcast.
I also
You've been
did listen to
listening
one of
that.
those dance ones, and that was pretty hilarious as well. I
I-
actually really enjoyed that. That was pretty
I'm
funny.
really obsessed with it, so I'm
Super
like
silly.
really trying to get Matt to like
I still need to
buckle
listen.
down and like do it.
I'm
Wait,
in an
he's not.
audiobook place right now. I've been going hard on the
Did you get
audiobook.
off of your Survivor kick, or are you still?
Yeah, I'm off Survivor. I've weaned away. I mean, I still
You
kind
used to
of
watch Survivor?
He
Well,
was,
no,
like,
I just
on
went
a
through like a very
binge.
short binge. Like it was about a month and a half.
Like the new
worth of-
season or?
Yeah, I watched the last 2 seasons.
Huh.
So I could have started from the beginning, which I mean would have been crazy.
That would have taken
There's
so
35
long.
seasons
Oh
now,
my
36
God.
seasons maybe.
That's too many.
So, but I definitely
So now,
definitely
you're
want to go on Survivor. That sounds.
You wanna
like
go
an
on
awesome-
Survivor?
I mean, it'd be great. It looks.
What about Naked and
amazing.
Afraid?
I don't think I have the skills to handle Naked. and
I
Afraid.
was
like
trying
Pillar of
to.
Fire?
Yeah, I'm not like a survivalist guy, you know.
So
You know, like
why
Bear
would you
Grylls?
be good at Survivor? Because you play the mental game.
No, I think. Well, there's the mental game, and I don't think you need to have the exact same skill set that you need to have on Naked and Afraid. I think you have. I think the people who do Naked and Afraid are much more hardcore survivalists and less like socially fit for a show like Survivor, where it's like you have to deal with being manipulative and trying to squeeze your way to the top and become the guy or person.
I haven't watched Survivor
Girl
since I
who
was
is-
probably 10 years old.
Survivor, yeah, it's fun. I
Straight
mean,
up.
I
I
couldn't
was
even
going to a
believe-
friend's house and they were binge watching, so I was like, all right, I guess we're watching this. And then it was like, oh, we're watching
You're all,
this.
oh, I'm
Oh,
hooked
no.
now.
Oh, shit.
Now I gotta finish it till then.
Oh, shit. It's so funny. The host of that show wears the exact same shirt in
Every
every
season?
single scene.
Is
It's
it
different color.
Still, what's his face?
Same shirt, Jeff Probst, yeah. Same shirt.
What
different
was,
color.
Was he a
That's all
comedian or an actor before that
I
show?
think that's all
I
he
don't know
did.
what he is, but
Because
he's-
Rogan was the host of Fear Factor.
Yeah, but I think it's different. I think that guy like has
You think
made his career off of Survivor.
Well, yeah.
100%.
But do you think like hosting was like the thing he wanted to do, or do you think he fell into it and was like, it's a pretty good gig?
I don't
Probably
know
that.
if he co-created it or how. I mean, yeah, I don't know how he got cast as the host. It's an interesting question, but
Well,
I'll ask him when I'm on the island.
They're making Double Dare 2000 or 3000. You know that Nickelodeon show Double Dare?
Oh yeah, you
I
sent
was
me
never
that.
really into it.
Oh God!
I
Well, they
was, yeah.
brought this fucking Eliza or whatever the hell her name is. She's some YouTube star, and she's gonna co-host it. And I was like, I want to do that. So mad. I went on a binge last night. Oh my God!
Why don't you just make your own
fucking
Double Dare?
Tell you, I could. I went on a binge last night of watching Viners interviews because you know those Viner YouTube guys. They like have millions of
Viner?
followers. Vine, like Vine, the app.
Oh yeah.
They're
yeah, yeah.
Viners.
That app is gone.
It is, but now
Yeah.
those people have translated their comedy into YouTube, and now they have like tons of followers or whatever. And fucking Chris D'Elia got into a fight with one of them on Twitter.
Logan Paul.
Yeah,
He was on Vine.
Yeah, that's how they all got started. That
Oh.
group of people. Well, what I was like, okay, let's see, like, because they don't get any respect in the comedy community because they're not comedians. They like think their 6 seconds can be funny, but then they don't. As a comedian, like the strength of a comedian is can you do the bit and not break. Like not being able to break your bit is like it's a skill. Really fucking honing in on it and doing it full out. Like that's how like Jim Carrey and fucking what's his face that Jim Carrey played Man on the Moon. They just like do their bit and they fucking Andy Kaufman. They just stick with it. And same with like people on SNL and stuff. You can't you don't break character and go, oh well that was just a character. You can't like apologize for the bit you're doing. So there was some interview on YouTube called like Behind the Vine where this guy, who the interviewer is really fucking funny because he's in character the whole time. And he's just like this like nerdy, like, oh, I don't understand. Like, what is it that you do? And he's really in character the whole time. And the Viners go in and out of this is me being funny, this is me being normal. And it's like so cringeworthy to watch because they're just not the same caliber of comedian as like an improviser or a stand-up.
Most of the people on Vine just probably aren't funny.
Well, I think they haven't taken the time to like they wouldn't go up on a stage and risk bombing. They're so wrapped up in their own bubble of people that love them. They're afraid to like step out and be like, does anybody else think I'm funny? No, okay, I'm gonna stay in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's probably something that happens with a lot of entertainers. That you find a box that is working, and when you continue to work within that, and people are saying like, this is it. Do this. If you keep working and doing this specific thing that you do, which you're known to be funny for, typecast, certain types of jokes or whatever, then you get stuck in that, and it's harder to take bigger risks because you want the guarantee of like what you're, the safe. It becomes a new level of what's safe. When you get the success, then that success becomes a safety net, and it's hard to jump out of that because you don't want to take the risk.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Like that's why we
Scary.
never saw Chris Farley in a dramatic role.
Yeah.
It was kind of a joke, but it's okay. But maybe it's true.
That went right over my head.
Yeah, it did
Chris
a little
Farley,
bit.
you know Chris Farley?
No, I know who that is, obviously.
Just- no,
Wait,
just
who's,
saying, like,
who's Chris Farley?
Oh, my Tommy
just kidding.
boy,
I'm just kidding,
but I'm just saying he's like
Wait,
he
who?
always did the same thing. Like that was his thing because it's hilarious and he was just perfect at that.
Yeah.
But he was also an extremely depressive individual who ended up dying from heroin.
The drugs.
So-
Yeah, from the drugs.
So,
Speaking of heroin, though, that's why we wanted to have you back on. Because
Right.
you've been sober for like 3 days.
yep,
We're celebrating it.
That's true.
No, that's not true. Remember, we're not putting drugs in your sex name. You dick.
Yeah, no,
He's
it's okay.
a professional. He teaches children.
I know. Just kidding.
He can't be
It's a
doing
joke.
that.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm using my pseudonym today and for this episode.
What is your pseudonym?
You know my Zach Hayes.
Zach.
Decided it was such a good fucking last name.
Ace?
Hayes. Hayes. It's just so perfect. I think that really flows well.
I
really
think
works.
Hayes is a good pseudonym for anybody.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's top of the list right now.
Not
Anthony
Anthony. Anthony Hayes?
Doesn't
That's-
sound bad.
Sound like a professional motocross rider.
Oh.
Anthony Hayes.
Yeah, sure. That could work.
Yeah.
So now you're a motocross What'd you say?
Motocross rider.
Motocross
Travis
rider.
Pastrami.
Like that Disney Channel movie with Motocrossed is what it was
Yeah, it
called.
was literally called Motocross. I used to love that movie, dude.
Really?
Me
Never
too.
saw it.
What? You didn't watch Disney Channel?
No, I watched Disney. I just never saw Motocross.
Did you see Brink?
No.
Oh my god. Did you see Brink?
Yes, of course.
The 2 best fucking Disney Channel original movies. You didn't see them?
Sorry. I was more Nickelodeon Cartoon Network. Let's be real.
Me too. But I mean,
Okay.
Definitely
Cartoon
more.
Network was not. I don't
I
know.
love cartoons.
I liked some of the shows, but it was like I would flip between Disney and Nickelodeon. Like anytime there was a commercial or I didn't like the show, and then if I didn't like what was on either channel, then I'd go to Cartoon Network.
Yeah, that was
it was
like me
the
for Disney.
third.
Disney
oh,
was
really?
my third. Yeah,
Oh.
for sure. I was like Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, till I'm dead.
I
don't
feel like I
get
was
the Bugs
never
Bunny
awake
thing.
when those were on. Every time I was watching those shows, it was like their shit.
Bugs
Time
Bunny
slot.
is just the classic.
yeah. I don't
Short
get it, though.
cartoons.
Can you
I love
open that a
those.
little bit so that like a little bit of airflow gets in here?
You're
There we
hot.
go.
Yeah, I'm
Just a little.
That's why I took my shirt off.
It's toasty.
And now I'm topless.
Super toasty.
It's
definitely
surprising
not
how.
topless.
Is there central air in this?
Oh
apartment?
fuck,
There's
that
air
feels
right around
so
the corner.
nice.
Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, open that one and then close that one.
There we go.
Just it doesn't
That's good.
fucking matter.
That's
it's
good.
too
Leave it
hot.
like that.
It's too hot to worry about echoing in this stupid room.
It's quite literally a sunroom right now. Anyway,
Yeah. Can we just
It's a beautiful
like
sunroom.
I love it.
Has anybody else had any conversation the last couple of days besides, "Oh my god, it's so hot"?
nope, sure haven't.
Oh,
driving me crazy.
My god. And now I'm doing it, but I can't stand that
No, I know.
everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Called
hot.
my mom and had like a 10-minute conversation about it.
Stop.
Swear.
I mean, it's just not necessary. Go to the beach.
I went to the beach.
What did you go
It
yesterday?
was amazing.
Did you go
feel
to
like you're at the
Malibu?
beach right now.
I missed it so much.
Where did you go?
It was a rough day. We had
I
a
heard.
rough day yesterday.
What
What?
happened?
We just like okay. So my roommate Matt, who we all know here,
I know.
was like, "We're gonna go. Like, meet me at the beach. We're going to this private beach.
Is the beach that we
space
went to.
that is in front of these $1 million homes. Great little section, amazing." Oh, but you have to climb down a few rocks to get there.
We
and
had to
I was
climb
like,
through a
Alicia,
fence.
my significant other,
Oh, no.
was like, I'm like, Alicia is not going to be down to climb some rocks. No, Matt, can we just go to? He's like, trust me, it's fine, it's easy. He got on the phone with her. He was like, it's easy. And we had already had a little bit of tiffing in the morning, so it was like already a little tense. We were like, let's just get. I just wanted to get to the beach, so we get there, and it's like there's a hole in the fence. Like no one's wearing the proper shoe. Like it was just like a disaster.
You had to climb
We
a
were-
fence?
We had to
didn't-
climb
She refused to do
through
it,
a
and I was
fence.
like, we're not gonna climb through this hole and like walk along these rocks for like what the beach. Like we could go to a public beach.
Just
like
go
right
to
up
the
the road,
public beach.
super easy.
Just drive down the street.
And man, it just was like rough because we met there and like we were supposed to have a nice fun day and it just like clashed and he was annoyed because
That's
he
a
was just
bummer.
like fucking come on, and his argument is like all the beaches are public, which is true. You can't have any private beaches in California.
Yeah.
So even if it says private beach, that's not true. So
And even if they put up a fence, you are allowed to go through it.
I mean, I don't know what I mean, if there's no public access, then maybe you're allowed to go through. I don't really know what the laws on that.
Well, he
But
was-
whatever. It was just
yeah.
like, it blew up. So we just drove and couldn't find freaking parking. And we found a beach that was like decent. But and we got in a fight because I wanted to bring this 9-foot surfboard that I have to like maybe surf a few ways. And we were driving in her car and it wasn't really fitting well. It was just like, all shit. And then I did have it using it anyways because the beach was fucking terrible for it. So, and I was like, I can't surf well. So there you go.
Which is one of those days, huh?
It was a rough one.
But
when we finally
yeah.
relaxed and I got to swim in the ocean, it was like pristine. I love the
Perfect.
ocean. It's perfect. Even this is the only time when you can swim in like ice cold ocean and feel
That's right.
amazing.
Is it ice cold?
It's
It's
cold.
so
The Atlantic.
cold.
The Atlantic. The Pacific is
now?
cold.
The Atlantic.
The Atlantic is warm.
Even now, though? It's not like a little bit. It's not like...
It was
I
very
mean, you will
crisp.
find it extremely refreshing. I think if you
Yes.
like to swim in the ocean.
Yeah, I don't care.
Then in 99 like this or 80s whenever it is in Malibu.
I want to get a paddleboard.
So nice.
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
I want to get a... The only thing is I don't know how I'd fucking transfer
Guys,
it.
I thought of a really good business idea. I'm not even sure if I should say it on the podcast because it could get stolen.
Hey, guys, if it's too good of an idea, we will cut it out.
No,
you will
no,
have
honestly,
no idea.
never mind. I'm not even gonna.
Oh,
We'll
I
say,
wanna
we'll say it after because I know
know.
someone
Yeah,
that's...
we'll say it after.
That guy that I was telling you about that wants to... He's like trying to retire.
So he wants to get.
He came to me and he was like, "You don't have any ideas about how to start a business or anything I can do?" I was like, no, man. Like
He wants.
and
He's
then
got
he
a
was
little bit of
like-
moolah?
I was like, I'm not Jewish. No, but
Which is why I'm here.
no, I was
ladies and
telling.
gentlemen.
He was telling me. He was like, I get my haircut done at the Supercuts, and he's like, I told this chick who always cuts my hair. She's a beautiful woman. She's great. I said, hey, I'll buy a Supercuts. You run it. I just want to be the guy on the end that I just want to go travel and like I just want to have some money in something. And she said no. And he's like, what the fuck? Like how? I said I want to buy you a business.
Right.
And she said no.
It's a lot more responsibility for her.
He doesn't seem like a very good businessman if he's
No, he's not.
looking.
That's not what he does.
What is he? He just wants to be the guy that gets to.
No,
get
he
the
wants to make
money
some
and-
passive income
makes-
that he doesn't have to do a
Well,
lot
he
of work
makes-
for and just take a small
I think he
cut.
makes like a lot of money
Oh.
doing whatever he does right now.
Oh.
I think
well,
he's like
then I have a business idea.
no.
This podcast.
What is money going
This
to
is a
change?
business.
Pay me.
This money isn't going to. I thought
Maybe
about
one
that.
day you guys will sell out stadiums. It's possible.
You know, I don't think so.
Why not?
Stadiums, huh?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How did this get made? Does live shows and that? Looks
It's hard
really
because
rad.
this is an extremely broad podcast where we just sort of like are talking and having a fun time.
I don't think I would ever do it.
So there's no like sort of
with this
subject that's
format.
honed in.
that the
Yeah.
crowd can like grab onto.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so weird. I feel like a podcast is already slightly vain, but to do a podcast in front of people,
Well, that's why Jason Mantzoukas is the best because he's just like, you idiots. Why are you buying tickets to this show?
Yeah,
This is
fuck?
so self-centered.
Who is that?
Jason Mantzoukas is a very he's famous improviser,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and he's
Oh, and he's
been in
doing like
movies.
podcast
I-
comedy.
I feel like the Tom Segura and Your Mom's House podcast. I feel like they do that live sometimes.
They do,
and
and
that
that
could be
looks
good.
like I tried to watch one of those, and I just
It's weird.
I can't get into their podcast to begin with because I don't understand the way that
a
they
lot
talk
of fart
to each other.
noises.
It's just
It's
A lot
it's like
of
a really,
garbage.
it's a really big
Cue
inside
the
joke.
sound effect.
it's a
It's
lot
a really
of
big
garbage.
inside joke. They call each other like jeans and mommy and stuff.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's
It's
weird.
hilarious, but you have to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like I've come into a conversation in the
Yeah.
middle of it, and I don't know any
Two
reference
people
points.
that only
and-
have inside jokes with
Yeah.
each other.
It's very hard to jump
You don't have to have a
into.
huge audience to sell at small little places, you know. But it's also just sort of like, yeah, it's. I don't know. There's a lot of intellectual, you know, conversational podcasts, like long form discussion.
Oh,
debate
100%.
stuff.
Like Sam Harris
Yeah, stuff like that. That sells out.
and Jordan Peterson. And
That's
Sharon
true,
all
yeah.
those. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
That
I don't know.
But
Foolsky.
we're not Sam Harris or Jordan Peterson. So.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Well, also they're talking about stuff that we're not
Politics.
talking about here. Yeah.
Politics.
Things that are changed in the world.
I'm
we're
not trying to
talking
talk about politics.
stand-up comedy.
Sounds like you want to talk about politics.
I don't.
I did, dude. I was just telling
Absolutely
her
do
the
not.
other day, like I'd rather stay ignorant. I don't care.
Oh God,
And I
that
know-
Rather
conversation
stay
was so
I
rough.
don't care
Zach,
about.
let me tell you,
but like ignorant about what?
literally everything.
No, not everything. Calm down.
It was
Stand
very,
down,
I was
Betsy.
like,
Relax.
you don't know. Okay.
No, I was just saying that like
Like the
No matter what,
intricacies of the Trump
like, I
shit,
don't-
you're just sort of like riding the wave. It's not
no,
a
like
big
I don't
deal.
want to pick
He
a side.
Doesn't even know what the issues are.
No,
What do you
I
mean? Pick a side about what?
Like liberal or fucking
Forget about
whatever.
that. But you have opinions. You feel certain ways about some things.
The way I feel about the government is that mostly it's all corrupt anyway. and I
Sure.
just
Now I'm not even
don't-
talking about the government. I'm just talking about like.
Well, that's politics, right?
But underlying politics, ideally separate from party, is like a more philosophy-based discussion.
Well, then I'm listening if it's philosophy based.
But you're right. There's not a direct connection between politics and philosophy because a lot of opinions and the way politicians act is not just based off of what they believe is ethically correct, but
And that's most of the
or
problem.
like, yeah. So, but it doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion and you can't want some like you think that no like why don't you run for city government?
Definitely not.
But you can make a change that you actually that reflects the opinions that you actually believe in.
Yeah, maybe.
Like that 28-year-old from New York who just got elected to the House.
Who?
You didn't hear about that?
Sure didn't.
Really?
No.
Andrea
was a
Ocasio-Cortez
girl- a
something.
woman?
She won a district in New York City, like defeating an incumbent who's been there for like 20 plus years.
That's
Mm.
amazing.
Who
Oh, you
was
know what?
like
I
on
did
track to
hear about that.
replace the Democratic heads of the party.
I did hear
and
about
she
that.
beat him. She went door to door. She did like Bernie style donations, small donations, used a fraction of the money, and she won. She's a she identifies as like a democratic socialist. So you probably
That's
would
where you
assume that her
lose me.
politics are very far left.
You know what it reminds me of when
Progressive,
people get
so.
with what you just said?
Yeah.
A democratic socialist. I feel like there's all these weird like genres and then subgenres, if you will. I don't know another
Sure.
name
Identities.
for it. Identities, whatever the fuck. And it reminds me of like metal music. When I was like in a band and stuff, there was always this like thing where when people would like listen to like either your music or like a certain band and be like, oh, that band's like a little bit metal, but they got a little bit of groove too, or like, oh, they're like kind of like progressive metal, or like they're kind of like
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, that's 'cause
metal.
There's
Wait,
always that, yeah.
But like
'cause
even
one
in that, I
stamp-
was just like, dude, just fucking chill, call it metal.
Yeah,
You know?
I think people like
I hate
being
when
able
there's all these
to
weird
elevate it and make it seem like there's, I don't know, there's people like that analytical aspect and
it's just weird when you
subdividing
put
and
all these
making
weird-
categories and genres.
weird labels and stuff on everything. Just
Well,
like
I
be a
think
good
it's-
person and do what's right. That's what I believe.
Yeah, but it's just more complex than that.
Oh, I know. But overall,
That's why
Sure.
calling
Yeah.
everything metal isn't exactly right, because there are differences within the bands or whatever the fuck you were talking about.
And also, like, pretty much everyone thinks like they're being a good person. Like
Yeah.
most people, unless you're kind of crazy or you are a sociopath.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think most people are like, I want to be a good person.
I think Hillary Clinton knows deep down inside somewhere, and she has to, that she's a complete liar. She wasn't for gay marriage until it was.
Well, she's a politician. They're all like
no,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They all had to play the game of politics, which is have
That's what
the
I'm saying. I
opinions
don't
that are
think they have
popular.
the best intentions most of the time.
I think they do, but I think in order to get to that power, like, you have to have money. Almost everybody running for, like, they are, what is it, career politicians? They run. All they do is run, and they don't do anything else except for raise money and be politicians. They don't actually fix or change or do any of the grunt work.
Sure, but if you're trying to identify that problem, the solution is not to just
Not
let
care.
those people go and continue doing it because they know that there's a system that they want to play and game and they're in it. Like, the solution is, I don't know. The solution is not big money politics, is not,
That's my point.
extremely wealthy
There's almost no
politicians.
solution.
but the solution is voting for
Vote.
people like, the solution is, that's the smallest solution.
Yeah.
Just vote
Get
for people.
out there and vote.
Like the
Or
other day,
run
you-
yourself.
Did you vote for Hillary in the
I didn't vote.
election?
He didn't
you
vote
you
at
just
all.
abstained. You didn't vote for president,
Didn't
or you
vote.
didn't vote for any of the other
I've
things.
never voted once.
You've never voted on any
Like
single.
the other day, she posted like she had like a little sticker that said I voted, and this was like what, a month ago. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "What the fuck did you vote for?" Because I was like, "Wait, we just got Trump."
Yeah, but right.
There's,
well,
like, so
I
many
think you would be
elections
surprised.
besides
You would
the
be
president.
surprised
Yeah, I
to
know.
see how much power you actually do have with that vote, because there are things on that ballot that are LA specific,
You know what I did
that
vote
are
for?
California specific.
Legalizing marijuana.
Right, there are certain things that like
Pothead.
we vote for that actually do add up and push a certain type of initiative forward or stop a certain initiative
Yeah, that's
from
what I was
moving
trying
forward.
to tell
Whether
them.
you believe that the vote for the president is a good vote or not, there are
Another-
things in there.
another
that
problem is to
you
care-
can feel empowered by.
To care about something so much that you go march drives me nuts.
Yeah,
That's another thing, man.
have you ever been to one?
Nope. Never going.
Well, I think the energy there is
will never-
extremely it's really good energy sometimes. So I think that's why
I
people
like
like
the
it
idea
a lot.
of doing that. I feel like the marches for like the civil rights fucking movement, you don't believe that they should have been doing that?
That's a real thing, though. Not the marches. You just like got mad.
No, I didn't get mad at all.
I just got mad. You don't think the women's rights are something we should be marching for?
Oh no, yeah, but
You don't think?
but like it's not.
Here's the thing,
Women
that's-
aren't being oppressed like black people were.
it's a different type of oppression, but it is still there.
I just feel like everyone's so soft now.
No. I think what the problem is people feel like their votes aren't doing enough. So they feel the only way that the people have power is when they come in groups and declare
I'll tell you what, the
there
women's
is an
march,
issue.
the women's march was very powerful. There was so many goddamn people
You were
everywhere.
there?
No, like just in the world.
I went down.
On the
That was pretty
news.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
On the news.
People are so soft now. Is an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's just how I feel, man. I just feel like people are just very soft, and because
But what if it's like that people were always soft and that they've been putting
People
up
for
like a
sure
hard
weren't.
shell around them, like not like maybe the white guy people, but like a lot of other people who have been disenfranchised, marginalized, etc. Those people have always felt that they're just like now actually having a platform where people are saying, no, we want to hear you. We don't want you to feel that you have to be silent about it.
who are you talking about?
I guess I'm talking about
Any group
a little
that
bit
has
of
been
Me
marginalized.
Too, a little bit of. I mean, I'm not saying that like I think that everything about the Me Too movement is like golden and perfect and glorious, or any of these movements, or identity in general, or all that stuff. But I also do see that like maybe for some people it actually is like the only opportunity where they felt like they can come out and, you know,
Okay.
heal
Yeah.
from whatever trauma that they've experienced. And it does hopefully push some type of political agenda that
Yeah.
is,
I would
I
agree
don't
with
know,
that.
responding or...
I think what's
That's a good
happening
way to
is
put it, but-
a lot of people are having their voices be heard, and with that, there's, you know, you gotta kind of weed through, okay, you're just bitching because you're bitching, or you're actually have an issue. You know, there's just everybody's
Well, I
coming to
certainly
the
agree
front.
that there's a spectrum to all of it. Like,
Yeah.
we know that there's a difference between Weinstein and Ansari. And one
Yeah.
of the problems with maybe these movements is that all these things sort of get bundled into a hashtag.
That's
and then
what I
you
was
have
just gonna say.
hashtag XYZ, and that is like a way of framing much more detailed and, you know, specific case situations. It's like the spectrum that we're sort of talking about. And that is a problem with it all. I
Yeah.
agree with that. It's the same with saying liberal. It's the same with all of it. Like when you watch TV and it's like one talking head, another talking head for 6 or 7 minutes, and one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, and it's like, well, it's just like, you're right. Like that is all just like, no, like you're a dude. Like it's better when we know who you actually are and what you stand for. And you're not just trying to like shout something in 5 minutes. I don't know.
I guess
That's not a completely
I guess I
original
stay
thought.
out
I'll
of it. And
throw that
I-
out there.
No, that's a good point. And I feel like maybe ignorance is the wrong word. I just feel like when people, like, from my perspective, Anthony, I'm not affected by any of this stuff.
Because you're a male that is sort of white.
I'm talking about sort of white.
Well, you're not
I'm
fully
talking
white,
about
but-
everything, like any movement, whatever, anything.
And I told you
right?
that the government works slowly, so you're not gonna feel big jolts of
But
change.
I never feel the only thing I feel like with government that's going to really affect me one day is like anything that has to do with my finances, right?
Yeah.
How
no,
much money
that's not true.
How much money could they possibly be taking out of my like taxes? And if they do, then I mean,
I guess the question is like, how much does it matter that the community around you suffers versus your individual suffering?
Yeah.
And what's the balance of you
gotta
putting
be
your
careful with the
priorities
word
first
suffering,
and
though.
also yeah. I mean, you're gonna identify what that suffering is.
we live in Hollywood. I don't think anyone's truly suffering.
Yeah, but Hollywood is not the only place that
Yeah,
exists
no, I mean,
in America.
no, you're right. I mean, there's layers, right? Like it's
But
not
all this stuff happens in
isn't-
Hollywood, in
This
LA.
isn't Syria. This isn't
No,
Gaza.
I know.
Right?
No,
I
not at
agree
all.
with you.
No one marches
I agree
in-
with you that this is not like this is not the worst place to be.
In California, in general, but like no, people don't march in Temecula. People don't march in Riverside.
because they're just fine with it's different.
I know, but like there's something to the fact that everyone in this little bubble
It's
in a
not
city.
it's not just Hollywood doing
No,
everything.
I know, but it's always cities, and
Yes.
it's always people that
Because
are
they're
very
more
progressive
diverse
thinking.
communities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
So they
Riverside
see,
is probably, I don't know the demographics, but it's probably mostly white people.
no,
You don't
it's
think
a
so?
lot of Mexicans. I used to live in Riverside.
Okay, so it's a lot of Mexican people. The community is like in a more
it's
diverse
diverse
community.
over there.
I think there's more. It's more fraught for.
I think the only thing LA has
know.
more of is Asian people.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like the pool is much more diverse.
I
Like
think
the
there's just more
majority
people.
is not like such a high percentage of one specific demographic of race or
you know
ethnicity.
what, you know what it is that bugs me about it is that like nothing affects me really, right? And I know that's ignorant to say, but like nothing affects me. So why am I going to put in energy to something that doesn't really affect me that much? And what bugs me is when I see people that also aren't being affected and they just are like, oh, hey, there's like this event going on. There's a bunch of people. Like, let's see what's going on over here. And then they go, and then all of a sudden they're like for the cause. You know what I mean?
You keep mentioning these people that are doing things just to do them, and I don't know anybody like that.
People that are like, oh, there's like an event going on. Like, let's see what's going on over here.
You said that about John Legend. You said that about lesbians, about how...
What? No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
What are you talking about?
When we were talking the other day, when I was giving you like a lesson and not being ignorant, you were just like, oh, there are some girls who were like, oh, well, now I'm in LA. Guess I'll be a lesbian. And I was like, I don't think those people exist.
See,
That's
are
what
twisting.
you said.
That is not what I said. You're twisting my words hard. I said there has to be, since it's so accepted now in LA and just throughout the world, really. Not the world, through the United States.
Not even. Cities.
California, whatever.
The point?
I said that I think there's at least a small percentage of people that are confused. And that maybe they're like, well, since it's accepted, I guess I'll try it out.
Why is that a bad thing?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Well,
I never said it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
Then it didn't make sense to me why you were bringing it up and we're trying to make a point about it.
Because I just said, I wonder, it was just like a thing that popped in my head. I was like, I wonder like what the percentage is of people that say like, yeah, I'm a lesbian, or, oh, I'm gay. But they're just confused. And then also like, I think people are born gay. That's what I believe, right? And I think that it hurts the gay community for people that are just experimenting. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but like...
I don't think there are that many people that are doing it in like... I don't think anybody's doing it in like a, well, let's just see what the other side... I mean, in like an evil, like...
No, not in a malicious way.
Well, then it wouldn't do any harm if nobody's doing it.
I never said it would do harm. All I said when we were sitting down eating that day was like, I wonder what the percentage is.
Then maybe you need to frame your random thoughts differently, because they always seem to be in
thinking.
Context of like making a larger point where then I'm like, okay, you're ignorant, so let's have a lesson.
No, I was literally just thinking like, wonder what that percentage is, dude.
I don't know why you would. That's a weird thought to me. I don't know.
Why? Is that a weird thought to you? You can tell me.
No,
first.
I'm just trying to listen to say that. I don't. Sexual freedom, revolution, preferences is interesting because I think like I think the way people. I do agree that you're born with certain inclinations, preferences, but 100%. I do think that, like, in ancient Greek times, men were having sex with men all the time in the sauna or whatever. Like, It was much more fluid, right? So I think you're born probably with I think maybe you have one more than the other, but I think you could just sort of like, I think in a world where it was accepted, most of us would be pretty polyamorous. Like, I'd be sleeping with one person over here, and we'd have an understanding that I'm sleeping with some people over here, and then I'm free to sort of have if I'm in another place or whatever, like I'll sort of do it. And maybe I think like I listened to some podcast about it recently. Mm-hmm. It might have been a Sam Harris like live thing where someone was talking about how he's, polyamory is making a comeback and it's becoming more and more popular, and how he and his wife do it, or his primary partner. So they have a primary partnership where it's like, I'm devoted to you and I'm completely transparent about every single thing that happens. I will never keep anything from you. And we have this mutual understanding that this is what we're going to do. And some people maybe you do it once in a while, whatever, but like there's just that complete open thing. And I think like the reason why we have marriage and all those things probably stems back from generation to generation of this is how we're going to set up the family unit structure and create community and raise children and have like a cohesive thing. So I think that that's just sort of how, like there could have been a world where everyone just raises everyone's children. And
did you watch that Netflix thing? Is that why you're saying all this? Oh.
I was just sort of talking about, like, what is the sexual freedom thing that you were saying with, like, lesbians or whatever, all that stuff, or people coming to L.A. and feeling, or people coming to more liberal cities and feeling more open to try new things. I think, I mean, like, you're not going to grow up in some rural, more conservative township and have the thoughts that it's okay for me to try and experiment. So when you come to a place where people say, like, try and experiment, like, that's why you're going to do it, because, like, everyone around you is saying try and experiment. So I think there's the nature, there's the nurture, there's community. So that was sort of what I was thinking about. Sorry.
No, there was a thing on Netflix, I forgot what it was called, but it was like this little, like, 18-minute thing, and Chris Ryan does it. And he was, like, talking about...
it's like a weekly show that he does or something?
No, it was like one episode, I think.
Okay.
But it was... he was talking about polygamy and how, like, it was always, like, back when people, like... I don't know when, but, like, a long time ago, like, caveman era probably. Like, everyone just raised their own kids, but, like, they all, like, if they fucked someone else, like, they raised their kids too. It was just kind of what you were saying, like... Everyone just fucked everybody and then,
just
like, raised...
we were all raising it together.
Yeah, everyone was, like, a big community.
The tribe raised the kids, which I was having this conversation with somebody recently, and I don't remember who it was, but it was like, I would prefer going back to that, where you do, like, the neighborhood is an important thing. I grew up in a neighborhood where the neighbors could parent me. And that's similar. Like, all the parents weren't
Did
fucking
you ever get,
each
like,
other.
hit by someone else's parents?
I never got hit.
No,
ever.
there was, like, friendships with the neighbors, so someone they could come over and watch you. You could go over there.
Or it was like if you were doing something that your parents wouldn't approve of, they would, like, rat you out. And basically, like, and actually last night I was sitting up on the cliff where I live on a hill, and I was just looking out, and I saw this couple walking. They just looked like they were doing, like, a lap, like a neighborhood watch kind of a thing.
They just started fucking.
The guy had a huge
Dildo?
Yeah. He had a huge flashlight.
Oh.
And he, like, said hi
violent.
to me, and he was like, "You just looking at the view?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he kept walking, and then, like, they went next to this house, and he shined the flashlight everywhere and was, like, looking for stuff. And I was like, that's interesting. But that actually probably makes the neighborhood safer, because these people are going out of their way. What the fuck did you think I was going to say?
I don't know.
You are not following the conversation.
No, you know what? I slept for 4 hours. Not all there right now.
Got it.
I think that still exists. I think in big cities you lose the trust of your neighbors.
Yeah, and that's
but
the
in
problem.
small towns it still exists, and you sort of still have that we are the community and you are the outsider thing, and that you can trust everyone within the community.
Yeah, and that's a problem with moving to the city, because when you move in and you don't know who you live next to, then that's when things can become like us versus them, because it's not like we are neighbors. It's now I live here, you live there.
Yeah, but when's
know?
the last time someone moved into the apartment next door and you brought them an apple pie?
Fucking never.
Exactly. So it's your fault.
I was just thinking
No,
about
I'm
that,
not.
man.
I'm saying that exists, and I'm not helping or hurting.
It's it'd be cool to, like, have that. I mean, I know my
camaraderie.
neighbors next door here. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a favor that I would ask them to do or whatever or something. But, like, if they've we share the same laundry room, storage space. So there's a relationship there that's sort of like, yeah, I trust you, of course. Like,
I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, there's one guy that's always walking his dog, and then the building manager. So there's two people, but they're the only ones who, like, I'll say hi to. Everyone else is, like, weird and closed off. So
Yeah.
I'll say hi to people
It's a
sometimes,
very,
and they're like, hey.
yeah, and there was this guy who moved down the road from us, like, probably half a year ago. First time I saw him on the block, he had his little 3-year-old kid with him. They were walking his dog, and I, like, picked some lemons from the tree. I gave him the lemons. I introduced himself, blah, blah, blah. The guy fucking, like, ignored me the next time I, like, tried to say what up. It was just weird. It was like, you don't trust me. Like, why? What's up with, like, I live 3 houses down from you. Like, obviously it's a neighborly situation.
There was, like, one neighbor I lived on a cul-de-sac, and, like, all the parents had kids roughly around the same age. Like, we all went to school together. We were all playing. We would do, like, block parties together. And there was, like, this one house where the kids didn't go to school with us. They were, like, in private school, I think. And it was just, like, this ghost house that everybody just, like, nobody trick-or-treated at their house. Like, we didn't...
Don't go to the Johnson's house. They got dead bodies in there.
That's exactly right. We were, like, afraid of them because they didn't come out and socialize with us, and we thought it was, like, super bizarre because everybody was super friendly and,
No,
like...
they were just chilling, man.
Yeah, you need people like that. to have those kinds of houses because as a kid, like you need a house like that
To go to?
that has a myth around it.
Oh, no,
You
yeah,
need, like,
totally.
that,
Yeah.
That backyard you're not allowed to
They
go
were the
into.
Johnsons. The Johnsons.
There was this lady.
I think their last name was Johnson.
No, it
It
wasn't.
was something like that, I swear.
Michaels or something.
It was something really white.
Old
the other
man
day,
Hobie's house.
I was thinking about this when I was a kid. Like, I lived like kind of on a cul-de-sac, but not really. It was like a cul-de-sac that then went onto another street that was like a mile long. But it was like a huge residential neighborhood, right? And on my block, I had 2 or 3 friends. And my mom was always sketchy that I would like go past our block, right? Like, so like after dark, don't go past the, whatever. And there was this lady that lived on the other side, this other block, right over, just one over. And it was around the time when Pokemon cards were really popular. So like 98, 99, 2000 maybe.
2018, yeah.
And her nickname was the Pokemon Lady.
Why?
Because she was like, she had to have been in her late 40s. The only time that we ever saw her outside, she would be watering the grass or she went on walks, but she would always carry a huge stick. And we would always say, like, why does she always carry a stick? And it was
She's
like, I guess
catching
she...
Pokemon? Is that what you thought she was doing?
No. She got attacked by a dog, and so she
Oh.
started carrying a stick. But it was just, she was like
Damn.
this bigger, she always wore like a trucker hat. She had like long, stringy white hair. She wore like big glasses. She looked like that guy from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Bubbles,
The
I
blonde
think.
hair, yeah. Who's like a little...
Yeah.
Why was she called Pokemon Lady?
Because she collected Pokemon cards.
How did you know that?
Because we went into her house one time.
Why?
That's what I
You
was
snuck
thinking.
into her house?
No. She invited us in. Me and my friend Matt.
Was she going to give you cookies and then murder you?
I don't know, man,
She
but I
didn't.
told, but like she, like pulled us over one day when Matt and I were like riding our bikes or something like that, and like she lived a block over, so we weren't supposed to be over there. And I remember she was like, "Hey guys, like fucking," we started talking to her. And my friend Matt knew her. I don't know how, but he was like, "Oh, do you have like Charizard or something like that? Like, do you have this card?" And then she's like, "Yeah, come on in." And she really did have a bunch of Pokemon cards, but like,
Did she have any
I
kids?
just no, she lived there by herself. And I remember she like her. I remember when we went to her house. It was like one of those old residential neighborhoods where like all the houses were like just a variant of each other. Like they were all basically the same house, but like it was like backwards in some houses, and this one was like backwards, right? It reminded me of like the upside down from fucking Stranger Things. And her house was always dark. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, it was always dark.
Inside?
Like she never had lights on. The blinds were always closed. And
She like natural lighting.
and one day we went in there, and it was just like the creepiest vibe ever. And when we left, I went and told my mom, like, "Oh, we were at the Pokemon lady's house." My mom freaked out. She's
Yeah.
like, "Don't you fucking go in someone else's house like that." I was like, "Why, dude? She has Pokemon cards." And I was like 8. But
Oh my
I was
God.
thinking about it the other day, so I was like, looking back, dude, she was probably like a fucking child molester.
Yeah,
Or could have been.
maybe.
Maybe she was just a weird
maybe.
lady that had disabilities or something and got
Is
a
that
bunch
why
of
you
money.
want to be a stand-up comic? Because you had an encounter with a molester?
With a molester that was trying to get me Pokemon
I swear
cards.
they all do. I've heard so many fucking
No.
stories where they all had a run-in. Like,
If I did, I don't remember, but I'm 100% certain that I did not. I would for sure. My friend Matt too would probably know something,
oh my god.
unless I got like Bill Cosby'd.
No.
But no.
don't
I think
so.
you're right.
I'm good.
I think you're fine.
You're good.
Thank you.
By looking at you, I can tell you have been molested.
You'll be all right.
I can tell by looking
That's
at
not
you.
funny. That's not funny. We shouldn't joke about molestation. Anyway, Zach, what's up, man?
What's going on? I don't know. Got lots to do. Got a freaking dentist appointment today.
Do you really?
Yeah, I still have a lot of time, so I'm good. So I gotta get these
You gotta get
chompers
some-
cleaned.
So, what do
Wisdom teeth
you?
pulled out.
This is riveting.
It is. I was gonna say I was late to my
Can't
eye
capture-
doctor appointment this morning,
Yep.
but nobody gives
Getting
a
my
shit.
teeth cleaned.
What are you? What are you doing? Like besides working and
What are you
watching
doing?
Survivor? Are you working on anything, or are you just?
Yeah,
taking
no,
a
of course. I'm
hiatus?
always working on something, but it's just a very glacial pace at the moment. And then I'll sort of like ramp it up for a day or two, and then it will slow back down. But yes, I am
Yeah.
still working on web series ideas. specifically
on
the
your-
yurt idea.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the
So-
yurt idea.
Some scripts have continued. One script is finalized, and
The first one, the pilot?
still is the first one. But yeah, I've whatever. I mean, what can I say? Other work and stuff gets in the way. Laziness. Was just home in New York for a week. Just doing podcasts in the middle of the day.
Home in New York.
Yeah,
You're from New York.
I'm from Westchester. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, remember he's that typical Jewish boy? Isn't that what you said the first time?
It's possible.
In the first podcast that we
Nice Jewish guy.
didn't, yeah, you were like, whatever Jewish boy you're painting in your mind, that's me. That's what you said.
Jewish boy that's got some business ideas.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
you really,
yeah,
though?
apparently you have a lot.
I've had a few. I mean,
ideas.
I always loved the restaurant where you catch your own fish. So they have ponds in the restaurant, and you with different pools of fish, and you actually catch the fish.
Does that exist, or you just
no? This
want
is an
that too?
idea. I'm pitching.
I don't know. That's
Shark
not-
Tank. I'm pitching.
Okay.
So that's one pretty good idea. I think.
What's it called? Catch a fish?
I don't know.
To catch a predator.
Catching.
Catch and release? Catch and grill?
I don't know.
Catch and cook?
Yeah, something catching. Yeah, we can.
Catching,
go
just
with-
catching.
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 I love it. So
catching
maybe
kitchen.
it's a terrible idea, but maybe
So-
it'll work if it's a restaurant by a harbor.
What
on
if
the
you
docks.
don't
No.
catch a fish? You don't get to eat?
No. I think you don't have to catch fish. It's like the option.
Oh, it's
or
like
something would be-
okay. I can see that on the
Don't
East
touch
Coast, to be honest. The East Coast has a lot of
There you
like
go.
restaurants right
Let
on
your
the
investor
dock.
friend know. This is
Yeah, I'll let him know.
top notch.
I'll let him know. Catching kitchen is a viable
Catch
option.
and kitchen.
Just catching, I think, for now.
Catching.
Oh, look at
What
this
else?
kid out the window. I know, but just look at this mask he's got going on
God.
here. That is Ghost Rider.
It
helmet
is.
Is it?
on his Razor scooter. Get it?
Speaking of scooters, have you ever? I actually just applied to be a bird charger because
What?
you can get paid to do that.
To just charge him up?
Charger?
And you have to do it between like 4 and 7 a.m.
There's
What, and
no
then people-
birds over here.
There aren't.
Yeah, there are.
Wow,
I
they're
saw
all in
some-
Santa Monica and
I saw
shit.
someone riding one the other day over here.
I saw
Really?
3
Yeah.
lemons, which is like the off-brand on Franklin. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Or limes or whatever.
They're
the fuck
starting to
they're
blow
called.
up.
They're so fun.
I feel like if everyone just drove those around, it would be a much better place.
I think so too.
It's really funny how scooters have made this sort of like.
They always
weird
go up and
trajectory.
down,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. They're in, and then it's like, what? A scooter? You fucking loser! You can't drive a scooter.
And then one
anywhere?
guy is like, "Hey, dude, do you
crazy.
remember scooters?" And then he's like, "Fucking, yeah, dude, that was fucking
That was
sick."
amazing. Like, what if we revamp those with an electric motor, which has existed forever?
Yeah.
Gas-powered or electric scooters have
Yeah.
existed for so long.
It was fun. Me and Matt,
I mean,
we
they
went
are
down
fun.
to Santa Monica and we rode them around, and it was like you're kind of like.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I guess the
'cause you're-
novel idea is that you can just leave it.
You can just put it wherever
You
you
said that.
find it.
You can
kind
really
of
put it wherever.
You can.
Well,
just,
you put it. You're supposed to put it where it's not intrusive to pedestrians and not in the middle of the street.
but like you
How
can
does
just stop
someone
it somewhere.
retrieve it?
they
find it.
There's a GPS
So
on
some
the.
asshole's got to fucking run around and like go and.
As
There's
in
probably
me. I'm
someone
going
at
to get
some
paid
point
to
who
do
goes
that.
and gets like.
Oh, that's what you're doing?
Yeah, it's you go. You find ones that are low battery and you like log in and you.
How much
trap
do they
'em.
pay you?
You put them in your nest, is what they call, and it said make up to like $100 a day, doing that.
You gotta
And-
probably hustle.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
You gotta probably retrieve so many scoots.
scoots, and then you gotta fully charge them,
That's
and
an
then
interesting hustle.
all the way up to like you only get paid. Like if you don't charge them all the way, they're not gonna pay you all the money. You know?
Right.
So you have to charge them all the way, and then you have to drop them and take a picture. And there's
How do
like
you
a little
charge
bit of
'em?
a. They send you like a charging cord to plug in.
Just
You have
add
to
it to the list of
manually
hustles,
charge
yo. Add it
Yeah.
to the list of hustles, right?
So there's not like a docking station for all these?
Not one. You dock them in certain designated areas. That's why they don't all like disappear.
So
They
how
don't
many
all
can you
clump
charge
up
at a
in
time?
One place. I don't know. I haven't really got. I just signed up like 2 days ago.
Interesting.
When
For
I,
anyone who has no idea what the fuck we're talking about,
Oh,
birds,
a bird scooter is a
Oh, it's
motorized
yeah,
It's like
electric
the-
scooter. Yeah.
electric scooter.
Yeah, but you like it's like what are those bikes called that you can just like pick up those bikes?
It's like a
City bike or
City bike,
something.
yeah.
Well, that's the New
bicycle.
York version. I don't know what the LA version is.
There's like a Hulu bike. Hulu is the sponsor of the bikes in
Lyft is
West
doing
Hollywood.
it now. Actually, Lyft is. I
Really?
think they're trying to Uber and Lyft. They're buying City Bike or something like that, so they can
bikes,
take over.
I actually, when we were riding, we would like be next to bikers and stuff, and it was nice because what we could do is you would scooter along the street, and then as soon as the light went red, you could walk your scooter on the pedestrian. So you never really have to stop moving.
Right.
And then on a bike, I'm tall, so being on a bike is actually kind of annoying when you have to keep stopping and like putting your foot down, and I'm so high off the ground already with my seat and stuff, so I'm like, and bikes are hard to like wield around. Scooters are just, they're very light.
Maybe you
easy
should
to
just
move.
adjust the seat on that bike.
No.
Might be a little helpful.
No, I'm a big person. I need a big bike, and it's intrusive. It's in the way. I don't like it.
You're like,
Scooters
I'm
are
fucking
easy.
huge.
It's just like, meh, meh.
No, yeah, I agree.
I biked for a little bit here to work. It was
I
tough.
tried. I don't
would
like
imagine.
It was like a dirt bike, and it was 25 minutes uphill the whole way.
it. God, no.
And it was tough. I would get to work and just be sweating.
You on a dirt bike?
Obviously, but no, it was like a mountain bike actually, not a dirt bike, not a mountain bike.
I was like, I
not
have
a
a
dirt
motor.
bike,
Why are
mountain
you
bike,
sweating
mountain
so
bike.
bad?
Because he was
Just a mountain bike that I
pedaling.
got used off Craigslist. The tires were thick. It was heavy. It was just
It's a pain.
I was actually.
And also,
really,
you have to worry about keeping it and not having it get stolen because it's
That's-
yours.
or
That's what I
getting
was
run
just gonna
over.
say.
Versus the
fucking
scooter,
silly.
where as soon as you're done, you release it so anybody can come grab it, and then you just, because you have to pay for the time, you pay for holding it, and then you're like, okay, where's the next one? Oh, it's right over here. So nobody owns the scooters.
Yeah.
They're just like passed around hand to hand, which I liked a lot. It was a lot
So when
of
you
fun.
are the
I'm ready for jetpacks. I'm ready.
They're coming.
Like,
You know what I
I'm
want?
ready for jetpacks.
I really want jets.
jet skis,
Jet skis personalized. I want to like be able to. I want to live on water, like in Waterworld, and just go from place
think
to
you
place.
want that.
Why not? It's like a
Waterworld?
motorcycle. Yeah, you know that
Waterworld
movie?
is like post-apocalyptic, isn't it?
It sure is.
It's everybody's living on flotation
You ever
islands.
seen the
Thanks, man.
Waterworld at Universal?
Yes,
it's pretty good.
So good.
good.
Yeah.
My dad was like, "You have to go back and get me a video of the part where the plane jumps over the
Right.
wall. That's
Dude,
insane."
my grandpa is from El Salvador, but he's lived here for 40, 50 years or something. But he has a pass, and we used to go.
I love going.
Well, he got us a pass one year for Christmas or whatever, and we went like a few times with him, and like I've seen that show 100 times,
It always freaks me out.
and like it's a good show. But like when you're watching it after you've seen it a bunch of times, you're like, okay, it's the same thing over and over. And like this is entertaining, but like I'm not like, oh my god, this is crazy, right? My grandpa has seen it so many times. You would think it was his first time every time. He gets so excited.
Aww.
And then like when that fucking when the plane comes out, dude, he stands up and starts clapping.
Every time?
I mean, I think so, but he would take pictures and just be like, fucking, oh, that's so cool.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
And
I would love to be part of that show. That looks like so much fun. But I
Oh,
am
yeah,
afraid of
yeah.
heights, so I don't know how well that would work.
Yeah, you'd probably fall and hit your head. on
No, jumping off that tower and doing all the fight scenes. Like, I could do all the physical stuff and, like, jumping on the rope and, like, gliding and all that stuff, but just free falling off that tower into the water, I don't think I could do.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think
the girl-
chick does that.
No, I
There's
think
only
she
one
does.
chick in the show, right?
Yeah. She might have one where she has to jump.
We'll have to see it again.
Yeah.
Dude, that could be your first live podcast at Waterworld while you're watching the show.
Oh, speaking of Waterworld, do you know of a water park, Zach? Because I'm really antsy to go.
You
I
don't-
would love to go to a water park.
I really
love-
wanna go.
There's Six Flags. There or not?
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah,
I'd have to
Six
look it up.
Flags.
There's like Knott's Berry Farm has one. I think
Well, I want to go to one that's just a
I
water
want to go to
park.
one that's
No. Six Flags has like a separate water
Yeah.
park.
That's awesome.
I
Or is it just
I've
like, oh,
heard
we
it's
also
dope.
have
We have to
this?
look. We have to look.
I've heard
Okay.
the Six Flags one is dope. They got like this big like funnel thing.
We could go with Jackie. She goes.
We need to go on a day
weekly.
that
Raging
she
Waters.
goes to Six Flags regular. Though.
She has a monthly pass
She's
or a
crazy.
fucking year
A monthly
pass.
pass.
A year
Well,
pass.
so you can get away going alone to Six Flags, the regular park. Going to a water park alone,
Is
it's
that
a little tougher, I think.
why?
I don't know.
'Cause you're the
I wish.
creepy
I
old
think that
person.
people are a little more like, why are you alone at a water
I
park?
feel like that would be easier than
I'm talking. What do you mean
You ever go to the
easier?
pool
I'm
by
not-
yourself? It's
Easier.
not really
hold on.
fun.
What do you think I'm talking
Yeah,
about? You think
dude.
you're talking about it's like difficult? Like
No,
I'm
no,
saying,
no,
like
no,
the perception of you as an
no.
individual.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
and
I
you
feel
think it
like
would be better.
You think it's better? I'm thinking like people being
To
like.
be honest,
you're alone at a water park.
I've
like,
never
It's like being
been
at Chuck E.
bathing suits.
Cheese.
I've
Weird.
never really
It's weird.
been to a water park.
Oh,
I went to Raging Waters, which I was gonna say is like probably the closest one. Once when I was a kid and I fell and hit my head almost right away
Oh my God.
it's so slippery,
So
man.
slippery?
It's so fucking slippery. So I fell. It hit the back of my head.
Sad.
I had a fucking massive headache, and I was probably like 7.
Jesus.
I don't know why this keeps popping. It's
Yeah.
getting annoying. But I was like 7 or something. I hit my head, and then I had to like sit out the rest of the day.
Sucks.
That's awful. That's a terrible experience.
Yeah, so that was my only water park
I've never
experience.
had anything but brilliant water park experiences. We
they're
would
so
go
fun.
every year, 2 weeks in New Jersey, the New Jersey shore. And
Which
there
one?
was we would go to Strathmere and we'd have to drive a little bit. I don't remember exactly. I mean, I'm sure that water park is still there. It was like the only one nearby. And we would go because my dad had all the money. Because we would do jet skis one day and then we would do the water park one day. And he would
Damn.
bring all of the cousins. And it was like this huge event. But that water park, like we became like, you go every
Regulars.
year and you get familiar with the park. And so it was like the
Not as fun
greatest.
anymore.
No,
Oh,
it
it's
was
more fun.
awesome every time.
There's a water park in North Jersey called Mountain Creek, and at one point I found online that water park used to be the most dangerous water park in America.
That's
But it
amazing.
is so much fun. They have like very high speed, thrilling rides for a
That
water
doesn't-
park that you're just sort of like, as an adult, I've enjoyed that. Very
I'm not
much.
afraid of heights, but I feel like those water park slides are super dangerous.
They're crazy.
Like for me, like I feel like I would just be like go down it and then
Go,
just like
woo!
There's one ride of that where it's just you hold on to the Tarzan swing rope and you just swing, and if you don't
Nah.
keep your legs up, you're just gonna smack it face into the water. And you just stand and watch from like a long line, like all these people
No,
just
dude.
swinging and trying to do one Tarzan swing. It's fucking amazing, incredible.
fuck that, dude.
There's another one that's just this pitch black tube, and you go and then you shoot out in the air like 5-10
No,
feet above
no
the
thanks.
water.
You ever been in the giant funnel?
Yeah, and then you do the half pipe. You mean?
Yeah, it's like a giant funnel. You're
Yeah.
on like a big thing, and it just you go up and down.
That's
what I
You
was- that's what Six Flags
eventually
says.
go-
Nice for me. There's one called H2O straight down like 90 feet.
H2O no.
Yeah, H2O
No thanks. I have
That
a
sounds
funny.
terrifying. I feel like I'd fly off the front and like
Nah.
die.
That's what I was saying. Like, there's some that are just straight down, and like when you go on, the guys are like, make sure you go like that, and like make sure you put your back like straight and like back. I'm like, no, dude, I'm
'Cause
gonna
if
fucking
you fall
fly
forward,
off.
you're gonna go.
Nah, it's once in a blue moon.
It's once in a blue moon someone falls off a fucking giant slide.
There was
I
a
know.
coaster that got stuck the other week in Florida or something, like upside down or
that's scary.
something.
Getting stuck doesn't scare me. My harness
Getting stuck
detaching
upside
and
down
flying scares
me
the shit out of me.
A little bit.
It scares
That's
me
pretty
a
much
lot.
the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
That is scary, but I went to Six Flags recently, and I didn't realize how becoming an adult is really like fucking with my little kid spirit of like, let's do whatever because we're invincible. And then I went on the fucking X2 ride, and I was so
Sick?
scared. I wasn't sick.
They're scary.
The whole time I was like, oh my god, like I was trying to like push that like logical side away and just enjoy the ride,
Yeah.
but I was like, what if this just unattaches, then I'm dead, and I just couldn't stop thinking that I was gonna die.
Our minds
It
are
was
very evil to
horrible.
us.
Back to going, we're back to talking about like going to a place alone.
Yeah.
Disneyland, you cannot go to alone.
Sure.
If you
yeah.
look like
Disney.
me, at least.
Disney
You
is
look
uh,
like me.
Disney
I
is
did it.
certainly a specific place where you
What?
probably shouldn't
Did
go by
something
yourself.
happen?
I did it. Didn't I tell you this story?
I don't know.
Where people
I just
are
told
like,
someone at work, this girl the other day about this. No, so I used to work in Irvine, which is very close to Disneyland, and there was a day that like it was in the summer or something, and so like and I had a 2-hour drive every day to commute to that job, and like I always like at the end of the day I always looked up the traffic route, and there was like it was like one of those seasons where there was just crazy fires everywhere. And so both routes home is saying like there's like one lane both ways.
Oh,
There's
fuck.
no other way to get home. It's going to take like 4 or 5 hours. So I was like,
I'll just go to Disneyland.
no, I was like, okay, I'll leave at 4. I'll get home at like maybe 8 or 9. And that's like when I got to go to bed. So I got to go to bed and then just get up and come do it again. But there's probably going to be traffic on the way back because these fires aren't going out overnight. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, I guess I'll just sleep in my car. And I figured this out at like 3 o'clock. And some guy was like, hey, you want to go to Disneyland? And I was like, dude, yeah, I have a pass. Like, let's fucking go to Disneyland. That'll be cool. It'll be cool.
you
to
have
do.
a pass?
I used to.
He did at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a lot of family that works at Disneyland, so I can get in free.
Yeah, we were
But
supposed to do that like
sometimes.
months ago.
Yeah, glad
that
it
didn't work
Glad
at
it didn't
all.
happen though
Classic.
for some few reasons.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
I'll
trying
tell
to
you later.
uninvite. Oh,
No.
Oh, I
had
thought it was
nothing to do
me.
with you, no.
It was your family. Has
Family
Nope,
drums.
definitely not my family.
then I don't know what it could be.
Yeah, I'll say it later.
Okay.
No, anyway. But anyway, so it was at the end of the day. This guy was like, he's like, oh, you know what? I can't go to Disneyland. He's like, but you should just go. He's like, I've gone before by myself. Just go to the Cove Bar, grab a beer,
Yeah,
grab
you
some
can
nachos,
drink.
just chill, whatever. I was like, no, that sounds good. But I don't really drink. So I remember I went to Disneyland and I was like, no. Like at the time I was just starting to like do stuff by myself. I had a girlfriend, but like sometimes I would just like go to the movies alone.
Sure.
I love doing that, by the way.
Yeah,
it's so
fun.
nice.
Yeah, it's
but
great.
anyway, so I was like, fuck, man, I'm an individual. Like, I'm a person. I can go to Disneyland by myself. I'm
I
not
can
like a
entertain myself.
like, I'm not a pedophile. Like, that's the only thing you have to be
Let it
worried
be
about.
known.
That's the only thing you have to be worried about, right?
I mean,
Going Disneyland
you as
by
a
yourself.
yeah, as a child or a parent of a child, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And I mean, whatever, right? So I go to fucking Disneyland. I park. I get into the park. I go to California Adventure. I go right past Cove Bar or whatever the fuck. And I was like, you know what, man? I've never been on this Cars ride. I want to really go on this Cars ride.
Okay.
I was like, I'm here alone. I can get into the single rider line.
Yeah, which is great.
Oh, that's the best.
It'll be a quick thing. I'll go on the ride. I'll fucking come out. Maybe I'll go to this place over here and have some wine or something. I'll just chill
All
and
this
walk
should
around.
be a totally fine thing, by the way.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
So I go into the single rider line, and I get up to the gate, and I know I've told you this story, and the car that was coming that had room for me was filled. It seats 6, by the way. There's 3 rows in the front, 3 rows in the back. It's filled with chicks that are clearly 15 or 16 in high school. So there's 3 in the back, there's 2 in the front, and I'm standing at the gate, and they're having a blast because they're at Disneyland alone. They probably just got out of school, and their parents let them come to Disneyland, and now I'm sitting at the front gate. And I wasn't planning on getting into this car.
But you
I was
had
gonna wait for the
You're
next
in the
one.
single rider. You're that seat
I was
filler.
going to wait for the next one because there was like some old people sitting next to me. They looked pleasant. I'd rather ride with them.
Okay.
The guy opens the gate, and I
He's
look
like, "Get
over,
in."
and it's this fucking creeper guy that shouldn't probably be working at Disneyland. And the girls, like, see the gate open, and they, like, the girls in the back, like, looked at that guy. And as soon as they looked at that guy went, like, thumbs up. Like, he's like, hey, man, like,
Ew, to you?
like you're going to, like, I'm doing you a favor.
Ew.
Right.
Putting you on this car. You're a good-looking guy. You're sitting here waiting to get something out of this Cars ride.
You gonna get
he's
laid.
He's like, hey man, like fucking, here you go. And he opens the gate. The chicks in the back see him do that. Now their like whole persona shifts.
So why didn't you just say wait?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I said like,
Okay.
no, wait for the next one. They're like, no, you got to fill the empty ones. They're like, there's one right here, so you got to go. I was like, okay, all right. So I go. So I sit down and like, I'm like, hey. I'm like, hey, what's going on, guys? They're like, hi. I was like, all right, cool. And I fucking strap in. And then it was the most, like, they were like, until I sat down, like, they were like having a good time. They were like talking and like all
It
bubbly.
is awkward to be on a roller coaster when you don't have
There's
anybody to
one
like laugh
single
with.
person like just sitting there.
So
like,
Yeah.
a ride went and basically was just silent.
and the ride
It's
is
like
Nobody's
high
sorry.
thrilling. Everyone's like,
yes. It felt like a scene, like an awkward, like a really cringy, awkward scene in a movie.
That's amazing.
that is so funny to like
Think
see
about.
After
a
that-
video of people
People-
all riding the roller coaster just like completely
No,
awkward.
and it's the
But
happiest
it's the most
fucking
high
ride,
thrilling
too.
like thing.
No, yeah.
Everyone else behind it in front of them is like, yeah.
No, for real.
And they're all just
I-
like, ugh.
I felt so
I'm so
weird,
sorry.
man.
That's
because the chicks in the
hilarious.
back thought that I was like a creeper.
Yeah.
Because they saw that guy go like, thumbs up. He's like, yeah, I got you, man. Like,
Yeah, you were in cahoots with
like in
Creepy
cahoots
guy.
with that,
Joe
like,
Creep.
yeah, like I'm the guy that like waits for chicks to go on the Cars ride.
And you're gonna put your arm around them or start macking.
yeah. And it was
so
just
when you got off
so-
the ride, security was like waiting there.
Sir.
No, I
sir,
just
you
I got
cannot
off
be
the
at
ride.
Disneyland by
I got off the
yourself.
ride so fast, and I walked so fast, like in front of them, and just got on my phone. Was just like fucking pretending like I was like reviewing the ride or something.
I
probably.
actually,
and then I just left, and then I went back to the gate, like where they give you the tickets for parking. I was like, hey, like. I was only in there for like an hour. Do you think I can get like the $25 back for my parking? And she was like, oh, yeah, that's for sure. Why not? So I got
Oh,
my money
wow.
back.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then I just went and like sat in my car. But it was fucking, Like at work.
One thing is for sure, no one bought that photo. No one bought that photo from that day. They were hoping to buy that photo. They were looking forward to that photo as a memoriam to that ride and that adventure of being in high school, being free to go to Disneyland by themselves.
And then it's just me.
And then everyone's face was just
Like, what the
complete terror in the photo.
I wish I had. Oh my god, I want that photo so bad.
Why is this guy riding the fucking cars
Oh
right by
my god, I
himself?
bet that's that's
funny.
perfect.
It was so weird, man.
Oh man, that's the end of a great
And now you're on
sketch.
some list on some government site.
Maybe.
Watch list.
But it was just,
Disney watch
like if
list.
they were like at least like 18 or 19ish, but they were
would've been
so
different.
young.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
And they were
way
like at the age
creepy.
where like they probably get told a lot, like, "Hey, watch out for predators," you know. And then I fucking am in the single rider line.
I did get
Minding
into
my
a little
own
bit of
business.
a To Catch a Predator binge a couple weeks ago.
Oh my
You ever
god,
watched
I
those?
really
Never seen it.
Really? It's pretty crazy.
It's creepy.
It's
I know
like,
what it is,
Yeah,
but-
the setup is. I mean, it's just such a good set. It's like these fucking creepos come in, and then Chris Hansen walks out, and he's like, "Why don't you have a seat?" And then they're like, "Okay."
But don't they have to like sign off?
What are you
on
doing here?
Putting
You know
their
what?
face on television?
No.
Yeah.
No. What do you mean no?
I think they do.
Oh,
you have
maybe.
to give your
You know-
consent.
No, I don't think. I mean, there's. Why would any of those people give their consent? They're being arrested 2 seconds after they leave the house.
Have you seen the Mad TV skit?
Oh, so
with,
maybe because they are breaking a law, it doesn't. Well,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I actually think there was something about how like none of those arrests can hold because of like whatever,
yeah.
because of the law, and but then then those people are just watched and probably arrested at some point
Later.
on or something.
Did you guys
Yeah.
see the Mad TV skit with Jordan Peele?
No.
Where he plays like the ignorant black guy that like doesn't know that like molesting a kid is bad.
Oh,
And like Chris, it's like to Catch a Predator,
Right.
And they go in and it's like Jordan Peele, and he's just like, yeah, man. He's like, you want to get in on this shit too? And the Chris Hansen guy's like, he's like, no. He's like, tell us what you're doing here. He's like, oh, I'm about to get some. Like,
Oh my
and
God,
he's
he just has
it's
no
so
idea.
Bad.
That's fucking
It's so
hilarious.
funny though.
That's
He has no
awesome.
idea that he's like doing something wrong.
that's
It's
awesome.
just like so dumb. Anyway,
God.
I was gonna say, speaking of riding a roller coaster by yourself and not being a predator, I was in. Have you ever been to Busch Gardens?
I always heard about
Sounds
that
familiar.
place.
That place
In Florida?
has
It's another roller coaster.
the greatest roller
amusement park,
coasters.
right?
The Apollo's Chariot has the greatest drop of a roller coaster.
Oh,
it
man.
goes so
What-
steep and for so long that you sort of like black out a little bit.
Where is it?
What about King the Cop?
Fucking.
Florida, right?
There's one in Florida. There's another one on the East Coast that I've been to. I can't remember where, but I've been to it a few times. But Apollo's Chariot is my favorite because you do the single rider, you get right in the front, and you get the best view for the drop. And I realized I started doing it because me, my sister, and my cousin would just do single rider, so we were never riding with each other. And when you start riding a roller coaster, like without the camaraderie of anybody else, it's like it gets less fun.
Yeah,
Because
I think
when
100%.
pretty much everything.
or if you ever gone on a roller coaster with somebody you like don't know that well and you're like trying to have fun, because then on a roller coaster you're kind of like free to be yourself. And if like, what if you laugh or scream or like do something weird with your hands? You're like, I'm always self-conscious on roller coasters
Why?
because if I don't know the person like next to me very well, then I'm like, do I look like an idiot? Because I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're on a date, you're thinking about that.
I've never been on a date to an amusement park.
I've
though.
been
think I have
twice
either.
now, actually.
It's probably a bad idea
Yeah, I always think it's great, and then
because you're
if you
like,
don't
oh, we'll
vibe-
have fun.
yeah, you're stuck with
Well,
them
that's like
for
what
the
they
whole
say.
day.
That's what they say. And like, if you're with somebody, go traveling with them, and you'll see if you're actually compatible or not.
Yeah.
I can hardly go to dinner with people. You ever gone out to dinner for like a first date? I think that's the worst idea. You're like trapped.
Drinks.
Drinks or coffee. Something light you can easily walk out of. You don't have to
Something
wait.
you can easily get out of too.
That's what I'm
coffee.
saying.
I've
Coffee,
gotten
you'd be
out
like,
of-
oh
I've gotten
shit,
out
I
of
got
a
it.
coffee date just being like,
Did you have to go to the dentist?
no, we had coffee and it was not great. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you want to go walk around for a bit? I was like, okay, sure. I just have to fill my meter again. And I walked back to the meter, and then I was standing at the meter about to put my credit card in, and I was like, no, I don't want to do this. So I walked back to her. I said, yeah, I'm just going to go home. And then
Oh, I thought you
went
just
home.
left without
No,
saying
I did- I
anything.
did
That would have been baller. She just left without saying anything.
No, I don't know if that's baller. I don't
You
know.
just whistle. She turns around, then you're just like,
Yeah. Just driving. I'm
No,
like,
you're
peace.
driving
by the
with
way,
this.
this didn't work out. Take it easy. Thanks for the
fantastic.
coffee. Didn't pay for it.
yeah.
Leave her with the bill.
That's how I get coffee every morning. You swipe right, make coffee dates every single morning of the week. Show up,
Swipe
get a cup
right.
of coffee, excuse yourself to the restroom. You're out.
It's fucked up to think there's probably a girl that does that with dinner.
There are a lot of girls that do that with dinner.
Guys,
I know.
girl, anyone.
I don't know. I haven't met any guys that do it, but I do know that there are girls who use it to get free food.
I don't think guys are like, you know what? I'm gonna
I think it's
get on
harder.
Tinder and get these dates so I can get some free
Well,
dinner.
I don't think the women are paying
Dinner.
usually.
Say again.
The women aren't paying usually, so
That's
they
what I'm
wouldn't be
saying.
getting a free meal.
That's
well,
what
they
I'm
should.
saying.
They
Right.
should be splitting it.
Yes, but the guys are like buying it's like a pseudo sugar daddy situation.
That's
I actually picked
that's
up in
not in
Uber
every
these
case.
two chicks who were like here loving the sugar daddy thing. They had just left these guys' houses that were 25. They were telling me all this. They're 25 years older than them, like rich in the hills. They were on their way to free massages paid for by these guys at the spa. Like, and they were loving it. They were like, we're fucking bitches and we love it. Like, just like going crazy in the backseat, like having a fucking ball. Like, they flew out to LA for the week just to like chill and get
oh my
free
God.
shit all the time.
Well,
It
there
was just
are. I
ridiculous.
met recently
So
this guy who he does that. He hangs out with. He only dates couples, is what he told me, and he has a decent amount of money. And he just likes providing things for other people. Like that's what he enjoys doing, and it's not in like a creepy way. And it's I'm defending him, but he's like sex isn't even necessary. I can get laid on my own, but he likes to pay for people to like build his own community.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's the line between generosity
Yeah.
and wielding power.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like to pay for people when we go out to dinner, but I'm just doing it because I'm nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I
So
like to
there's
do it.
a
So
little
it's
bit.
just a little bit of an elevated version of that, I think. So
Yeah.
he'll pay for like their vacation.
Like, I'm not thinking of it like in a control way.
No, I don't think he is
Which-
either.
I thought that's
But
what he is.
no. But he's made it into like his complete lifestyle, where he's like, yeah, I pay my friends, and
Is that how he gets off?
yeah, that
mean-
basically is the way he gets off.
Like, he gets home and jerks off, and he's just like,
No, it doesn't have to be
I
a
think
release.
it brings him joy to like be generous and like spend his money on people. He probably doesn't have family to do it or whatever.
oh.
And so
okay.
like parents may or may not enjoy spending money on their kids. Some
yeah,
parents
it's similar
do.
to that, I think.
So I think that's probably
It's like just doting upon people that you care
Yeah.
about.
it's just sort of like, do you end up using that as like a control mechanism or not?
Yeah, which I don't.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's fucking. So that's an
with
interesting
money?
question. Yeah, like my friend's dad. Thinking of one specific friend who has a terrible relationship with his dad, and it's because his dad has always like wielded this sort of power of being the provider and like sort of using it as a justification and as ammo in sort of like getting what he wants and how he wants, you know, the son or his children to like
Do I
behave.
know this? Do I know this friend?
No,
Okay,
no, you
just
don't.
checking.
So, but it's just it's always been an interesting relationship, and he does not talk to his dad at all, like
Yeah.
basically. But and he's just always resented his dad for that because he just felt like it was a crummy way of treating like your child. And it's not like he
that
wished he
sucks.
had more. It's just sort of like the way that he wielded that like monetary control was in a sort of manipulative, abusive kind of weird way. Same way people do it with sex, like Weinstein or whoever the fuck.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a
and
fucked
it's
up one.
money or power or fame or whatever. You know, they have that sort of complex, and it's weird.
Yeah, Weinstein was a fucked up one.
It's pretty crazy. He's going
He's going to jail.
going through the ringer, as he should. Probably
Yeah.
should.
That's can you like imagine being someone that's like that high up? Like, he quite literally ran. He could say, "I run the city," and people wouldn't question it.
Yeah. He would. I mean, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for a
He's going to
while he
jail.
did, with all the money and all the fucking shitty things he was doing by ruining people's careers if they didn't do what he wanted. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's very Trumpy.
Trump-
It's the
Is
same
it?
thing where it's like, if you don't agree with what I say, I'm going to fire you. It's kind of the same thing.
Is it?
Are Weinstein and Trump the same person?
No.
What is the
that
question?
No,
I
I'm
don't know.
saying that the way that they act with their money and their power is similar, where it's like,
What does
with
Trump
Trump it's
do?
different because he's like, if you don't have loyalty, then you're cut, basically. If that's why all the people that work for him talk
Yeah, no,
nonsense.
I still think, I do think, like,
because they're trying to
there's-
stay on his good side by
I
saying
don't
whatever
think
he
Trump
wants to hear.
has ever been nearly as powerful as Weinstein was. So that's the
Really?
only difference. Yeah, Trump is he's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't
really
have
is.
actual, I guess he has success, but he's gone bankrupt numerous times. His businesses have folded.
He's a great
built-
promoter.
He's incredible at promoting. Yeah.
That's all
His
he
biggest
does.
success was probably The Apprentice.
Yeah.
That's who
I mean,
how
he's also
knew-
built incredible buildings. Like, he's done it all, but he's done it in a sketchy, skeezy way. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, yeah. And he probably uses his power to abuse people. And, you know, saying grabbing women by the pussy and shit like that is pretty, you know, an example of probably, you know, you could make a correlation between him and Weinstein with that type of case. Like, I can use my power to basically make you do whatever.
I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
It is pretty fucked up.
Oh, look at me. I'm popular. I just got 2 text messages.
Wow. Dad saying hello.
Probably.
Mom saying hello.
Probably. My mom called me at work yesterday. I couldn't talk to
Triple beam?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been there yet?
Sure haven't.
You sure
I was
haven't?
just- I
Oh,
was
you
just
got to
goo-
get out there,
I was
dude.
just Googling it right now before you got here.
You should come out to our neck of the woods.
Oh, is that your spot too?
Yeah.
You love
that's-
triple beam?
it's right between
it's right,
where we
yeah,
live.
it's basically in the middle.
Oh, okay.
It's good. Really good.
Yeah, I do want to come out there and try it for sure.
Yeah.
They're not open Mondays, all right?
Did I tell you I made it to one of their Instagram posts?
They famous?
That's
Dreams.
me.
Dreams.
If you look up Triple Beam Pizza, I'm on their Instagram.
Amazing. How many followers do they have?
I don't know.
17.
Wow.
I showed Matt, and he was like, because Matt's like such a fucking
Food boy.
fan. Like, he has my hat. My Triple Beam hat.
He
that I
loves
got.
Triple Beam.
He does.
It's
I got a hat to wear,
loves
and I gave it to him.
whatever.
And he lost it in the convertible on the way to the beach, and we drove around and went back to it.
You found it.
We got
It flew off his head.
Flew off his head in the middle of like where one highway meets
Damn,
another
yeah.
one, so it was like a very conjunctioned area. And we went onto the side streets, and he was like, "Find the exit that we have to get." And I was just like, "What the fuck?"
And you pulled over on the highway and
we pulled over, and he like opened the door and got the hat. It was on an exit, so it was kind of slow, but like he was like, "We gotta fight!" Like
It meant a lot.
pretty crazy.
means a lot to him, but it's not because it's my hat; it's because it's
No,
Triple Beam.
maybe he was doing it for you.
No, I don't think that's true at all.
It's like, you gotta have your hat to
He
work.
won't admit it, but that's probably.
No, I don't think.
It's that Jewish guilt.
I'm
So
telling
there's
you, it's
Jewish and
contagious.
Catholic guilt?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Matt has
is there Catholic
Matt.
guilt?
Matt
Because
Menley
I'm
has.
I'm not Catholic, but I
Matt
always
Menley
hear
has
people.
Catholic guilt.
Yeah, I
he's
always
got
hear people
both.
say
He's got
that.
a double dose.
Yeah.
And he's Jewish?
He's a
a-
halvesy, yeah.
Oh, that's fucked
Is he?
up, man.
Yeah, he's a half Jew.
Matt Menley?
Oh, I was talking about,
Geese?
yeah.
Oh, no.
Mm.
You were talking about Menley?
Yeah, Menley has Catholic guilt.
Oh, I
That's
thought
what he
because
always
we were
talks
talking about the triple beam hat. So
Yeah.
Mentally.
Mentally.
Yeah, I don't know what Catholic guilt is.
It's just guilt. It's just an emotional
Guilt.
state. It's just,
It's basically
What
saying
is Jewish
if you
guilt,
do.
though?
it's just
It's
an
your family
emotional
being
state.
like,
It's
you
just
haven't
like,
seen
you've
your
gotta, like,
grandma. You have to go see her. And
you have like a, it's just a strong,
obligations.
You
yeah,
have like
familial.
a crazy history, and is that what it is?
What, in my family or in
Yeah.
Judaism?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Is it
it's just-
from like your ancestral past?
maybe, yeah.
Has to be, right?
I think
I
there's
think it's
just
from the Jewish people wanting to keep their culture alive.
it's also
and
like
so-
wanting to be a good person is really emphasized. So when you do things that like hurt other people or seemingly aren't like serving the like others, there's this sense of like I'm doing something wrong because it's really pushed into you that like you should be always trying to do good, give to others, so on
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
forth. So
Okay.
Yeah.
so I don't know. Maybe
Catholic,
I just made that
think,
up.
Is a little
I don't know, man.
But I know. I think that's like that maybe seems to be part, or like I have to do like the things that my parents want for me and meet their expectations. If I'm not doing that,
How is that going, by
Thank
the way?
you.
How is seeing your parents?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah,
They give
awesome.
you any shit?
No, why would they? Everything's great.
Because Jewish guilt.
'Cause we're in Hollywood and
nah.
we're all working
No,
for
we're
no
doing
money.
great. I'm doing fine. Everything's good.
Good.
New opportunities just around the corner.
You're keeping
All
the
the
faith
time.
alive.
I do have some audition stuff this week, so who the fuck knows, but we'll see.
I wasn't recording this whole time.
Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
That would be awesome.
For a second, I thought that I
And go.
wasn't. For a second, I thought I wasn't. No, I'm good. It's going.
That would have been.
Anyway, do you want to wrap this up?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, if Zach doesn't want to hang out,
Zach's got to go get his teeth whitened.
Hopefully
do
not
you have to get
too much.
numbed? I have to get fucking numbed every time I go.
Why?
Because my gums are so sensitive.
No, I hope not. I'm gonna go home and brush my teeth a lot.
A lot.
Give them a good cleaning before they give me a good cleaning. So we'll
Oh.
see.
Wait, why? You're just getting your teeth cleaned?
Yeah, it's just an annual clean.
So you're going to brush your teeth
I
before
have to
that?
go 4 times a year.
Yeah, of course.
You didn't already brush your teeth today?
I'm not gonna lie, no.
What time is it?
I'm a night brusher, not so much of a morning brusher.
You only brush your teeth once a day.
It's mostly.
At least you're honest about it.
I
You know
was
what they
gonna
say?
say.
Only floss the teeth you want to keep.
I've never heard that.
You never heard that?
I got
heard that.
guilted into brushing my teeth by the dentist when I turned 10.
You have dental guilt?
Yeah, he was like, "You are in double digits now. You brush twice a day." And I never wanted to
stuck
brush
with
my
you,
teeth
huh?
before school. I remember I was like, so I could do it before bed, like no problem. But in the morning, my parents were like, "You have to brush your teeth before you see people.
When I was
You
a
are gonna
kid-
start getting BO and shit."
When I was a kid, I had like some weird acid reflux problem, and it caused me to have bad breath, so I would always brush my teeth a lot.
Interesting.
And it didn't help.
It's a good
still.
habit, though.
Yeah,
Probably
having good teeth.
Probably get on that.
Now I'm on fucking Invisalign and I'm dealing with all these other problems. So
Hey,
where
you
where
love
your
Invisalign?
yeah. What? I love it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to have to do it, but I didn't wear my goddamn retainer.
Did you say where are they?
No,
What?
he said I loved wearing.
Oh.
Loved it.
Oh,
I don't love it.
You love
where are your
Invisalign.
Invisalign?
They're not on right now. I was drinking coffee.
Oh,
They
okay.
get stained really easily.
Yeah. Gotta be
So-
careful.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm almost. I think I'm almost done, but then I have to do the whole retainer thing again. I'm probably gonna.
Why don't you just get a permanent retainer?
That's what I wanted to do initially.
That's what I have.
My fucking
got
orthodontist
one in
was
there
a
right now?
cunt.
On my bottom teeth, yeah. It's a
I
metal
asked
bar.
him. I was like, "Can I have a permanent retainer so I don't
It's
have to
actually
deal with
broken
this?"
in the middle, but
Uh-oh.
And he was like, "No, I don't do that." And I was like, "Fuck you."
find someone who does.
Well, now the dentist.
Do you have dental insurance?
Well, I actually was talking to my dentist because now I'm about to turn 26 and be off my parents'
Oh, yeah,
insurance, so I
yeah.
have to figure out what the fuck to do. And I asked him, I was like, "Is it worth it? Like, what should I do?" And he was like, "Here, I'll print out your basic payments, like what it would be to get cleaning and anything else you might need, and then you can compare it. Usually, you would pay less if you just paid out of pocket then, because I'm not getting like root canals or doing any big surgeries or
Right,
anything.
right.
So just maintenance stuff. He was like, it's pretty affordable.
Yeah, I think it's like, I only go once a year. I think the cleaning's like $80, 60, 70
Well, I have to go
bucks.
4
like
times
once a
a
year.
year.
That's not
My mom's dating a
terrible.
dentist now, so
Oh,
Hey, yo,
she trying to get us
getting
some
that free take
dealios?
clean.
yeah.
I'll drive 4 hours or whatever the fuck wherever you live.
She got like she went and visited him or something. He gave her like some $300 toothbrush.
Wow.
She's like, yeah, I got my teeth cleaned too.
She's like, all I have to do is stand there and go like this. It just goes.
It's like the Jimmy Neutron robot arm.
Hell yeah.
I
That sounds amazing.
Dude, Jimmy Neutron was the shit.
love that
It's a fun show. Fun
On that
show.
note, let's wrap this up.
Okay. Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy Neutron. Shout out to Jimmy Neutron and Nickelodeon, our
Yes.
first sponsor.
My former boss was a writer, worked on that show a lot. Jimmy Neutron.
Didn't you
Really?
work on?
Yeah, it was.
You worked in Nickelodeon.
Yeah, he was the executive producer of the Thundermans,
Oh,
and
the
also did
Thundermans,
Jimmy Neutron and Johnny Bravo.
He did.
Jed Spingarn.
That's
Love you.
amazing. Are you still in contact with him?
Get him on the
Not
bus.
so much.
Oh.
Maybe one day I'll hit him back up when I feel a little more like ready to say hello.
Yeah. That's cool.
You don't feel ready?
I mean, I have said hello the past few years.
You just didn't say it back?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Damn.
People get too big out here.
Flaky
man.
LA.
Yeah, Jed's too big for me.
All right. This has been Have a Seat.
Thank you.
Anthony
Thanks for
Pacheco.
having me.
Thanks, Zach. Zach Hayes. His
Zach
new
Hayes
fucking
or
name.
Nanus, possible.
Yeah.
We'll
You
see what
should
sticks.
do Mexican, man. Zach Hernandez.
Ugh.
I should just be
Just that.
just change to a Mexican person.
I identify as a Mexican.
Did you guys ever? Did you hear about that acting coach that was saying shit like that? Her name, I think, is Leslie Kahn. She's a really famous acting teacher out here.
Yeah, I've heard she
And
does
there was
sitcoms really well.
She a con
Maybe
artist?
she had this. There was a recording of her class where she was telling this student who has no Latina descent in her, like it's not in her gene pool, but she was like, you look Latina, you should change your name to something like, Rodriguez or Ramirez, so you can go out for those parts because those parts are available. It's just basically telling her to like change her name and pretend she was a different.
Well,
the Carlos
ethnicity.
Mencia thing.
People were pissed about it.
Well, I'm sure, but like as an actor trying to break in, that is actually sound.
Yeah, but
like, not sound
anymore.
advice.
It's
No,
too
not anymore.
disingenuous,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
too like you're basically taking roles away
somebody
from people who
else's
should
identity,
be
for sure.
getting them, which is people who are rooted in those.
But
types
yeah,
of characters
people were taught
in
to
general.
like play into your stereotype because that's the way they were like. If you're like Japanese or if you're Mexican, if you're Indian, be the best version of that because then you are guaranteed to get those.
Yeah, but what does that
roles.
mean? The be the best version of that is you're just talking about a stereotype that isn't actually real.
Right. That's what they
So.
would tell people because then they would be easily booked because that's how people book.
But I think
based
people
off
are
of
moving away
stereotype.
from that now, where it's like you're not being typecast necessarily because of your. I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
like,
I think yes.
No one's trying to
slowly.
find the Asian character because people are recognizing that
That's not okay.
bullshit and it's
Yeah.
not okay. So, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, in my audition class, I was told that too. There was this Japanese girl, and she
Right.
was like, be the best Japanese. Like, she wanted her to work on the accent and everything.
Right.
And I was like, I mean, that makes sense, but it's also fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, the role of like, old Asian lady may always be there. It's true. You know, like the broken English old Asian woman who's like creepy or whatever. I don't know. There's always going to be those roles. You're right, but
Yeah.
I don't know about always.
well, what do you mean?
I mean, they're not making The Grudge over and over.
Not yet. I don't know. I never saw The Grudge.
Was there an old Asian lady in that?
I was thinking of like
Probably.
Daredevil.
Was there an old Asian lady
Yeah,
in that?
she's like a crime villain boss. This
Oh.
old Asian woman, and I was just
The
like,
Netflix show?
yeah,
Season 2 then, huh?
it's something like Mao. I think
I didn't
forget
see
her
it.
last name.
I watched the first season. She was definitely not in the first season.
I like that show.
Me too.
Never
She
watched.
intro's
Second
great.
season.
I should. And then skip Luke Cage because I hear it's a piece of
I
shit.
didn't like
Oh,
Luke Cage
really?
so much. Unfortunately, I just didn't
It
love the story
looked
progression.
dumb and got terrible reviews.
I very much enjoy Jessica Jones a lot, and I think The Avengers is worth checking out. I thought Iron Fist was pretty rough.
I liked the noir feel of Jessica Jones, but I didn't really
Yeah.
like the story.
Didn't like this Kilgrave season.
No.
The first season.
The first season.
Oh man,
I love
loved it.
his
I thought it was so good.
fucking
He was so
powers.
good.
Insane. That
He was
actor.
amazing.
Yeah, he was great. I like that actor.
Wow. On that note,
On that note,
Zach
before
is
we get
leaving
into another thing,
now. But yeah, thank you for tuning into another episode of Have a Seat.
what's your Uncle Ned, right?
My
that
Uncle Ned,
listens?
he said thank you. They were worried
About what?
about me. I was like, oh God, fucking
Wait, worried about what?
parents. They were like, oh, he's up for some job, and they were like worried about him getting a shout out in a podcast that only 20 people are fucking listening to.
for now.
For
Wait,
now.
they were like, hey, don't talk about Ned.
Yeah, they were like, oh, but it's fine the way that you did. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm gonna, I don't know, reveal something horrible, and anybody that in Pennsylvania is gonna hear
Right.
that he's connected to some old person's gonna hear
No,
it.
let him keep thinking that. That's fine.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
I think I had a similar concern, which is like, there's probably no way
but
that
you
anyone
never
was
know.
ever going to talk about things that I was like, we should probably do whatever. But I don't know. We live in a weird world
I also
now where
changed
people
my
are-
last name, so they
I
You
think
don't
can't.
want it on
everyone's being a little
history?
more cautious about that shit because they
Because you
just,
don't want it on history?
I guess, yeah.
See, that's the problem.
It is a big problem. I
That's
agree.
the problem. It's gotten to a point where people can't even talk about shit anymore.
Yeah,
And even if you're
100%.
joking, because clearly
No, you're
in
right.
here, we're clearly joking about stuff.
You're right. You're
Then-
100% right.
then my
This is
mom-
a
Why
big-
is that?
I feel,
It's
you know.
annoying.
yeah, it is. And it's something that I have to
So you know
continue
what?
to battle with.
Yeah.
So you know what? Shout out to Ned.
Shout out to them. My mom was like, "You're revealing an awful lot about yourself," and I said, "Yeah,
That's the point.
I am. That's exactly the point.
Yeah. It's just
Trying to be an open, transparent type of person, so
Why
people
not?
can feel less alone and feel like I'm not hiding anything from anybody."
yeah.
At the end
I'm
of
just
the day,
trying to
your
be
mom
fucking
doesn't
honest.
have to be a listener. You
That's
know?
true.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking listen to me. I appreciate
It was
that
funny
you do.
because I actually had like some of my family be like, "Oh, so you like started a comedy podcast?" And I'm like,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, kinda, yeah. And I
Just
was like,
talking.
yeah, and like everyone else that's asked me like at work and stuff, I'm like, yeah, you should listen to it. Here's how you get it, and like it's on this and this. It's amazing, by the way, how many people didn't know that they have a podcast app on their iPhone.
Oh, really?
No one knows about it.
That's
Still.
interesting.
What is it called?
It's just podcast.
Oh, it's just called podcast.
It's been on iPods for over 10 years.
Yeah,
I
it
have a different
has.
one on my phone.
They had podcasts on like
No
the
one-
fucking video one, and I never used it ever.
It's like one of those things that like no one uses like the keynote thing on your iPhone.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
But also, our podcast now is available on Spotify, is the newest place.
Yes, Spotify.
So-
Spotify,
Yeah.
Stitcher, iTunes.
and I'm working on our website
Pocket
right now.
Casts.
So
Nice.
I have it on my podcast
Pocket
app.
Cast?
is that what you use?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
We have it on things we didn't even know.
Let me
about.
see.
Castbox.
Look,
You
see?
have it there?
There it is. Have
Stitcher.
a
Show the,
seat.
camera. Show the camera.
Show the camera. Pocket Cast. Let's have a seat.
can't
I also
see.
have Mentally Speaks.
Mentally
Don't-
Speaks. And
Mentally.
then, wait,
Don't show
Mentally,
the camera that
Mentally
one.
in the Haze is the one that I'm putting just our podcast on.
Yeah,
So
I have
check
Ultimate
out-
Dance
Oh, yeah,
Party
is that gonna be a
podcast, Grand
separate-
Star.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Matt keeps uploading everything to the same fucking name, so it's hard to find because he's
should
doing
be
an Always
separate.
Sunny,
Right.
and I think it should be separate. So I created a new. It's called Mentally in the Haze. Me and my friend Matt Mentley. He's in like our third episode of this Have a Seat podcast, and we're going out to different
Dance Party
places.
podcast.
Yeah, it's basically we're going to dance nights and we're, reviewing. It's like an audio Yelp of the place. We're saying like what the service is like, what the vibe is, if like weird things that happen throughout the night. We basically tell you whether we would go back and enjoy this for our Saturday, Friday, Wednesday, Monday, whatever day of the week it is.
I think that's good. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's audio
You should make a
Yelp.
website for it.
Well, I have an Instagram, Mentally in the Haze, and I'm working on a website for this right now just to have all of our links together. And yeah, so
Awesome.
all of those things are in the works. So thank you for tuning in.
It's all happening.
It's all happening.
Thank you, Uncle
here.
Ned.
Have a seat.
Thank you, Uncle Ned.
Okay.